My bleeding disorders with school never really affected me. I was pretty heavily involved in basketball from about the age of 10. That's pretty much all I did when I was at school. I ended up leaving school and I was just labouring for most of my working time. I was actually a glazier for a lot of that time, so probably not a great trade for someone with a bleeding disorder, but it worked out well for me.
I think this is where that sort of sheer determination that I got from Mum comes into it, because if you put an obstacle in front of me, you know, I'll go over it, under it, or around it, or if worse comes to worse, I'll just go through it. I'll find some way of overcoming it.
My haemophilia had a huge effect on me getting into the field that I did. Growing up, you're very thankful for all the care that you get and you appreciate in the healthcare system when it's done right. So I was a bit hesitant whether to do nursing or medicine, but I didn't want to study for like 7 years. So I thought paramedics was a good medium choice. And given the fact that it's a job where every day's different, you're out and about, I just think it's a fantastic job.
A lot of the work that I was doing was probably too physical for what I should have been doing, but I certainly got bleeds and I probably got more. I don't know whether I got more or not. I probably got as much as anybody else.
There is quite a physical aspect of it, so sometimes we might have to lift patients or lift equipment, things like that, and even just things like walking up and down stairs if a patient lives, you know, on the top floor of a building, which can be a challenge with the haemophilia, but I think as long as I'm prepared and do everything I can to keep my body right, then I don't think I'm very different to anyone else in the job.
To manage my bleeding disorder at work, I'm lucky enough now that through advocating for myself and educating my employers and that, allow me the opportunity if I need time or need to modify duties to cope with that.
Joint-wise, my ankles are my target joints. They give me a bit of hassle at work sometimes, but I just kind of, you know, I take my treatment and I just work as well as I can with what I've been given.
There's certain things you can put in place if you are at full-time work to ensure that it's going to have as minimal of an impact as possible. So one of the things is I'll often work my treatments around when I have the longer shifts. So for example, I generally try and do a treatment before I go on night shift, because night shift's sort of 14 hours and I can't really afford to go home in the middle of it to have a treatment sort of thing. Another really good thing that I do is that my manager at my branch is aware and all the staff at my branch are aware. When I first started, I just explained what it was to everyone, and everyone's been incredibly supportive, so I've never had a problem with that.
I mean, I had periods where I couldn't work. Being self-employed, you just plodded along through. It just happened.
In the fridge at work, where everyone else keeps their food and stuff, I have sort of just 3 boxes of my medication. So there's lots of little things you can do and put in place to help yourself do the job as if you didn't have the condition, and 99% of the time I think it's successful and works just like that.
Comments have been made from people that haven't understood what things are involved with having haemophilia. But yeah, I've been lucky enough that I've been able to speak to them one-on-one and just educate them about why things are the way they are.
I take my needle every 2 to 3 days, so it keeps myself covered. During the week, I don't really have much issues at work, just really with my feet getting sore. Like I work on the New Perth Stadium and I walk a lot, like 18,000 steps each day. So I think most people on that job though, their feet are really sore at the end of the job, so I don't feel too bad about it.
The haemophilia now, yes, is really beginning to impact on what I do. I still can't work to the capacity that I used to, but I've just adjusted the business accordingly.
Sometimes, because of the haemophilia, I have to modify what I do at work. So it may be a day stuck in the office doing desk duties as opposed to being outside in the workshop floor.
As much as haemophilia has had an impact on my work, I've never allowed it to dominate my work. It's just been a part, it's just been another thing that you've had to manage, whether it be the weather, whether it be the market, or whether it be my haemophilia. It's just there. It's just another thing you have to deal with.